All right, class. Let's get going with our next lesson here. Topic: ideologies, revolutions, 1850 to 50. Essential question: how did the revolutions of the 1840s spread change throughout Europe? Revolutions of the 1848. So last time we talked about revolutions of 1830. Now we're talking about 1848, so a short time later. Revolutions influenced by nationalism, liberalism, romanticism, and the economic issues going around in Europe. Only Britain and Russia avoided upheaval, and for two different reasons. The end of serfdom in Germany, established parliaments in Germany, suffrage in France, and unification in Prussia. Now in France, the February revolutions, working class and liberals revolt and force King Louis Philippe to abdicate to resolve his monarchy. The Second French Republic is established, led by the bourgeoisie. They wanted employment for all people. Reforms, it abolished slavery, established 10-hour working days. Now the June days, the Revolution 1848, class warfare, the bourgeoisie the bourgeoisie versus the working class. The elections of 1848, because of everything that was going on, they voted for Louis Napoleon, who was a relative of Napoleon Bonaparte. Voted in, and in 1852 he consolidated his power to become the Emperor Napoleon III. Of the Second French Empire. And this, rightly so, made people very nervous around Europe because they thought that they would become another Napoleon Bonaparte. And here's the Emperor Napoleon's little crown. Alright, let's slide this one down. Now in Italy, Italian nationalists and liberals sought to end foreign domination. Giuseppe Mazzini established the Roman Republic in 1849, protected by Giuseppe Garibaldi's forces. Pope Pius IX was forced to flee Rome. Failure of the revolution resulted in conservative victory. Austria and France take lands back. So Austria had a vested interest in the northern part of Italy, and France took the Papal States back. So they tried to nationalize and form one country, but they had a lot of problems along the way. Revolutions lacked leadership, no rural support, and in Italy it was not united. Now in Austria, they had ethnic minorities, sought nationalist goals, put pressure on the Habsburg Empire. And Austria was quite a large empire that had control of some other areas, but remember it was Metternich who was the one that, the Age of Metternich, was from this area. He was very conservative. Okay, Hungary. Louis Kossuth, the Hungarian leader, wanted independence from Austria. So remember, Austria controlled quite a bit of this area. Mass protests in Austria weakened the country, and Metternich must flee. So when the conservative party or government started to feel the pressure, Metternich, you can see here, help me, he had to run for it. Hungary revolts for freedom, but is put down by Austrian and Prussian troops. The Habsburg restored the royal absolutism government. So there was a time where the liberals rise up, they start to gain power, but then the conservatives always come back. All right, the German states, liberals demanded constitutional government and a union of the German states. So they really wanted to consolidate the power, but it was very difficult. Frankfurt Parliament wanted land from Denmark, so they went to war. In doing so, they bit off a little bit more than they could chew. Prussia King Frederick Wilhelm IV rejected the proposal of the liberal constitution, saying he would not accept the crown from the gutter, saying that he doesn't need the people or the middle class, even the bourgeoisie, to tell him that he could be king. He imposed a very conservative government. Failure of Prussia and Austria to support German unification ended in failure, and thus Germany once again would not become unified for several more years. Austria, not Prussia, rules the German states. So in a final evaluation of the revolutions of the 1848, conservatives, liberals, nationalists all fought for power. Conservatives usually won out. Many movements were spontaneous urban events that did not last. So there wasn't a lot of things going on in the countryside. It was more things that were going on in the cities. Middle class, who led the revolutions, came to fear the radicals of the working class. So whereas in the French Revolution and other revolutions you had the bourgeoisie, the middle class, and even the upper class at times revolting, now we're starting to see a lot more from the working class. And you had a lot more working class due to the Industrial Revolution. Suffrage in France, no more serfdom in Austria. These were a few of the positive things that came out of this. In Germany, the German states of Prussia had parliaments, which would eventually lead to the German states becoming united. The revolutions of 1848 and 49 brought to a close the liberalism, or the liberal revolutions that started in France in 1789. And that's it.